tune in to watch our communities grow. Are you ready? Let's go! So if you love your community and you love supporting the folks and businesses that make your community so special, then we invite you to like, follow, and subscribe to our pages, and then tune into each show to experience the community difference.
Incorporate the wonderful communities of our great North Texas area. We are excited to have some wonderful guests on with us today. My name is Nathan Smith. I've been the host of the Community Difference, what was once the Plano Show. Now we're expanding and going beyond since, I guess, January, if I recall. Is that right, Lennon? I think so. And so we're just excited to be here with you today. We have been in the process of doing some rebranding and bringing in, really not rebranding, just bringing in new sponsors and businesses and show ideas. And we've got some really exciting things coming in 2023 that we have for you guys. Wanted to just let Lyndon pop in here just a second, if you can, Lyndon. And I know there's a lot of stuff that hadn't tied down yet that we can't really talk about at this point, but we are doing a couple cool things with some nonprofits that we talked about on our Thanksgiving show. So if you want to just recap a little bit of that and what we have on the docket for 2023 as we jump into what should be a really exciting new year.
Well, thank you, Nathan. I appreciate it. I also appreciate everything you've done for the difference since you've been a part of it, and especially helping me with the Community Difference shows, because what the difference has always been about is finding ways to make the difference, whether it's in the business community or just our general communities where we live. And fortunately, over the last 3 years, I've met some fascinating people, some people that really do love helping others and in making the difference. And so I've been fortunate enough to collaborate with so many. We've got one on the show today that we're going to be bringing her on. But they've given me so many different ideas on how the difference can make the difference for so many different people. And we want to be careful that we don't broaden this so broad that it kind of dilutes it. We want to have that focus, right? That's what people tune in to watch. They want to know what's going on and they want to get the short version. But one of the things that we've noticed, and I've had several nonprofits that have been guests on our shows, and Nathan, you've heard me say this. If anybody's watching within the audience, they've heard this before too. When you're talking about businesses, most businesses don't struggle or fail because of a bad product or service. They struggle or fail because not enough people knew who they were. And the same is true for our nonprofits. So I'm going to let the guest that's coming on today talk more about that. But she's passionate about helping people. She has a calling, and she is very committed to doing things that can help people, just live life better, have a better life, and bringing awareness to the people that are doing that. And so she collaborated with me. She brought this idea, and we put this thing together. So we're going to be kicking off the first of the year, a portion of the difference that focuses on nonprofits and charities and allows them to talk about what's going on within their charity and within their nonprofit, who they're helping, how they're helping them, who's helping them, and keeping that particular organization moving and going, and then how other people can help. A lot of people want to help nonprofits. They just don't know who they can help. And so we're going to be bringing that as well. The Community Difference, where our intent is to continue to grow that. We want to get to where we're having one show a day, because as you said, we're going to bring in more communities on these shows rather than focusing on one. And there are several reasons behind that. I don't want to get too in the weeds on that. But we want to be able to highlight the people that are in these communities, whether it's a business professional, whether it's a community leader, or whether it's someone within our community that's young, and they're aspiring, and they're doing some amazing things with their life right now, and they're going to be able to do some amazing things for the communities they live in the future. So that's where we're going with it. It's been from my perspective, it's been a moving target since day one. It's been hard to keep up with. It's hard sometimes to keep a focus on what we're trying to do. But as we all collaborate more and talk more, and I get a better understanding of what we need to do, I think we're drilling down and really bringing some important shows to the public.
That's really cool. And I want to set the stage for what we're talking about today. And it's going to be kind of scatter shooting a little bit. And obviously, we do want to bring in, I know Diane Castle is who you're talking about here in just a moment.
Yeah.
And she's been maybe our most frequent guest. I have to go back and count, probably. I don't know if you're on like 5 times, like, Saturday Night Live, you get like a special 5 timers. I think she's like a 6 timer. I don't know. She was on our very first show, and now this is our last show of the year. So I don't know what that means. Maybe we should have sent her a gift basket. We'll have to work on that. But but what we want to do is just spend some time. It is a Christmas show, so we're going to talk a little bit about Christmas, just some of our traditions and things that we're be doing over the holidays, and just looking back on the year. We'll obviously look back on the year as a difference. We'll look forward to 2023 here over the next hour, and just get to spend some time with some good friends. I know Brian Podeska, another one of the show hosts on The Difference, is going to pop on here in just a few minutes. But it's going to be a really good time together. And hey, we're going commercial free, except for one commercial in the middle. So we get a lot of time to talk and share with each other. So let's kick it off. And then I do want to, we'll kick it to Diane in just a little bit to go into more detail about what you guys are collaborating on in 2023. But I'm going to bring in Diane Castle, and I'm also going to bring in Eric Reed, both who I met through networking, as you do, which if you're not networking in your business, it's probably dying. So just a little shameless plug there. You might want to get involved somewhere. We've chosen to get involved with a great organization called Master Networks, where we meet on Thursdays. I think Diane meets on Tuesdays. And so just a great opportunity to connect with professionals and just grow your network. So Eric, Diane, good afternoon. How you guys doing today? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Great to be on.
Eric, your face is way behind your audio. I don't know, at least maybe that's just me. I don't know. It looks like you're a ventriloquist, which is pretty impressive. So I don't know if you're working on that.
He looks like those old karate movies where they used to talk and then they would do all the.
Or they dub it over. They dub over the English, and it's just so awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know any karate, Eric? That would be kind of cool.
No.
Well, hopefully it'll catch up here in a moment. Well, I want to have him pop out and come back in. I want to just open up the floor here to talk about, first of all, Diane, what do you got going on for Christmas? What are you doing? Staying in town or whatnot? And then I'm going to open it to everybody and just kind of share with me your favorite Christmas tradition. What is it that you look forward to doing, either as a kid or with grandkids or whatever? Now, that's everybody, but we can start with you, Diane.
Well, we're very blessed. We have 3 sons, adult sons, and 2 grandchildren, and my 2 biological sons are here in the Dallas area, and then my husband's son is in the Houston area, so not so far away. But we're going to be blessed this year to celebrate with all 3 boys here at the house on Friday. So we're celebrating a day early, but it doesn't really matter to me when we celebrate, just that we celebrate. And my favorite tradition, I think, is because I believe that you stay young by acting young. And for anybody that knows me knows that's exactly what I do. I act goofy sometimes, but I think it's all in your attitude. So my favorite tradition is carrying forward the Christmas stocking, no matter how old the person is. So I take great time and effort and thought into what I'm going to put in those stockings for the boys. And they are 32, 34, and 36 this year. and they're still going to get a Christmas stocking. I said, if you believe in Santa Claus, you're still going to get a stocking. Now, if you don't believe in Santa Claus, you don't get anything. So they humor me, and I love it. I've got the stockings, the inserts going in the stockings, and they're hidden away in the closet, as a good Santa Claus would be. And that's it. And so the joy that I have is seeing them open up their Christmas stocking as an adult.
That's awesome. We had recently, I remember, let's see, I grew up at a house my parents are still at, but the first house I remember that I lived at, I guess, for about 3 or 4 years before they moved to the house they're in now. My mom started making these stockings out of this pattern book or something and they were all themed the same. So she made stockings for the whole family. And then the last year or two, we decided that it was time to retire them, but we didn't want to get rid of them because they were part of, our history in a sense. And so I'm very nostalgic when it comes to certain things. Other things I'll get rid of, but I'm very nostalgic. So she ended up hanging them on the cabinets in the kitchen, which actually looked really cool. It turns out there's 5 cabinets, 5 stockings, so it worked out really nicely. And now, of course, being married and having 2 kids, and one of my sisters being married and having a daughter, the stockings had to grow anyway. So it was time to kind of do an overhaul. And so I think the same thing with us. The stockings are always. I don't think you can ever outgrow a stocking. The stockings were a big deal at my grandmother's house growing up, my grandparents' house. Even I think literally every single person from my aunts and uncles there's like 12 or 13 stockings on their mantle. And my grandmother would go through and she would, rather than putting the stocking stuffer in the stocking, she would write little poems, rhymes rather, of where the presents were. These were not major presents. I mean, sometimes it's like a pack of gum or something. It was just the fun of finding them. So she'd write these, roses are red, violets are blue kind of poems. And the older she got, the less brilliant they were. And so my uncle and I, much to her dismay, would always kind of to prod her and make him kind of not make fun of her, but just give her a hard time about him. But that ended up being part of the fun. It's just making terrible poems and then still trying to find where the gifts were hidden. So I don't know if she pretended to be bothered by it, but she probably liked it. So anyways, Eric, I know you had to pop off. We're just sharing kind of what we're doing for Christmas and our favorite Christmas tradition.
Oh yeah. I know with us, I grew up with the stockings, obviously, and my grandmother we had a big family. It was split. And so going to her place, it was all beside the fireplace, big brick wall. And it was just almost top to bottom full of stockings. But like you said, it was nothing big. And then when I got married with Kelly's family, they do something that I had never seen before. So the first year I was woefully not prepared, let's just say. But they actually do. We have the stockings, but they actually do like big paper bags, like grocery bags, and you paint on the outside of them, kind of decorated however you like it, but they're full. Like on Christmas morning, they're full. So it's kind of, there's gifts, but these stockings are big time. Like it's more fun to open the stocking sometimes than it is just everything else. But that first year I showed up with the traditional stocking stuffers, and no, that was not the.
You were promptly scolded that this is not how we do it.
Yeah,
it's not how we do things, right?
Yeah. So, that's always a fun tradition there that I don't see a lot of people that do that. So it's always.
That sounds really good. So you said a paper bag? Is that what you said?
Yeah, they're like a grocery bag, like big paper
you kind of
bag.
You design your own basically, and it's new every year. You make
paint on
new
it
every year.
Usually until it eventually they wear out and they rip, right? But but yeah, until then you use the same one every year, and they're painted on the outside, and everybody kind of got to do their own.
That's a
decorations, and yeah,
pretty cool.
What about you, Lynn?
Well, lots of changes in my life over the last couple of years, being a grandfather and My oldest is 3. My youngest is about, well, I guess he's a month old now. So Dane and I, my son and his wife, we're kind of starting our new and own tradition, and really having that focused around the grandkids. But I got married this year in February. Nathan, you're aware, you were there.
I was there.
So I'm learning, and I'm kind of like Eric, what he described. I'm learning a new tradition with a brand new family, and it's exciting. They have a big family, and one of their traditions is gumbo, Christmas Eve evening. So I'm a big gumbo fan, so I cannot wait. That's going to be good. Which, as I mentioned before, I canceled a surgery I was going to have tomorrow, which was tonsillectomy, which would have meant I wouldn't have got to eat anything over the holidays. And now the silver lining to that is I can still pig out all weekend long.
Yeah, what a terrible time to have tonsillectomy. That should have been a no-go from the beginning.
Well,
like after the New
it was
Year.
kind of a last second deal. We determined that, and then of course you know how insurance works. You get all your deductibles paid, and you try to get everything in before the end of the year, or else you got to start all over again.
That's true. That's true. Well, let's do. I want to find out some more traditions and some more things that you guys like. I'm always curious because I'm a big Christmas song guy. Like, I love Christmas music, and it's about 50-50 here at the office. I brought my Alexa from home and put it in the main lobby because we got tired we had too many devices at home. My wife was plenty thrilled that I took our Alexa away from the house. So I'll come on and put Christmas music on every morning here at the office. And that's met with mixed reviews depending on who's here. But I want you guys to be thinking about your absolute favorite Christmas song and the Christmas song that you most loathe. And if there's a couple, that's okay. You can do that too. But first, I want to go back to what Lyndon talked about at the beginning as we get ready to do some really exciting things in 2023, partnering with some nonprofits and specifically Carson's Crusaders, which Diane is a huge part of. And Diane, just take a few minutes to talk about that partnership and why you guys are so excited working with yourself and Leslie and Jason and everyone else that is a big partner and advocate and doing a lot of things with Carson's.
Wow, that's a lot longer than what this show length is. But
in 30 seconds, I'm just kidding.
30 seconds. Oh,
no,
sounds like my network group. I think that volunteering, you can learn how to do that through mentors growing up or your family. You can get the bug for working with nonprofits to help make this world a better place as an adult. I guess the point that I'm making is that you can start this as young as you are, that you can carry something and hand it to somebody, and as old as you are taking your last breath. And that's the beauty of volunteering. I fortunately was given the gift by my dad at a very young age, going to church, and he taught me the priceless gift of giving to others at a very young age. And I always watched him and just modeled his behavior and how people just lit up when he came into a room because he always put people first. Over himself, and that's kind of been my mantra my whole life. And my husband said I should just volunteer full time, and I said, well, maybe I will someday. But so always thinking about other people. I just thought that what a better way to take the gift that my dad gave me, which I think is a priceless gift, of having that just inbred into your very soul and veins of who you are. Take that gift and take it into your business world. And so that's what I did. The company that I represent has a great nonprofit division, and we just teach people how to give back every single day. It's kind of a gift that keeps on giving month after month through the power of your shopping dollar, and helping people bridge the gap between this crazy inflation and what their current income is. So Eric and I talk about that all the time. How do we help people? The bottom line is not thinking about yourself, but thinking about others. How do you help people in all areas of your life, of their life? And so I was fortunate enough to come up with this harebrained idea of focusing 100% of my business on nonprofits. And so that's what I did. And then I'm not going to steal Lyndon's thunder, but I'll let him tell you about that in a minute. It's all about relationships, though. Everything that has happened to me, good or bad, has been through a relationship. But it's the power that God gives you when He says, "I'm going to cross your path with Lyndon Wilson." And then He's going to let the two of us just start talking and coming up with ways to serve others, coming up with ways to make this world a better place. And it truly is, meeting Nathan and meeting Eric and having them be a big part of my life in my network business of leading entrepreneurs and business owners and helping them stay afloat during tenuous times in our what we've been going through the last few years in our world. So being able to meet these leaders here that are sharing the screen and broadcast with me today means everything to me because God gives each one of us a gift, and it's our job and our responsibility to disciple that gift and go out and share it with others.
100%. That's a really good way of looking at it. And Lyndon, like Diane kind of alluded to, I know you talked about at the beginning, but just give us a little more detail on what that partnership with Carson's Crusaders is going to look like, and what we're actually looking at towards with other nonprofits as we move into the new year. Uh-oh.
Okay, sorry about that. I appreciate the kind words from Diane. If anybody's ever sat down and had a conversation with her, they know what kind of heart she's got and her authenticity. And so it was easy for me to want to work with her. One of the things there's a couple things that over time I've come to understand about networking, and networking is very important in all aspects. But one is, I think that a lot of partnerships fail because when you go into it, you're going, what can I do for you and what can you do for me, rather than what can we do together. And when I sat down with Diane, it was all about what can we do together? Who can we help together? It's not how I could help her or how she could help me. And that extends the vision. And so I'd already known about Carson's Crusaders. And one of the things that made me want to do the shows is because when you start to hear the stories behind it, what the vision was in order to create it, that moves you, that moves the needle. And for any person that's got any kind of heart, which most people do, when you understand the story, you want to get involved. And the problem is most people don't have the opportunity to share the story. They share what they do, and they share a little bit of how they do it. And then it's up to everybody else to figure it out. And so we want to be able to pull back pull the layers of the onion back, let people see what's going on. How did Carson's Crusaders get started? Who is Carson's Crusaders helping? What's the impact that it's having? And we're going to do that same format with all the others. Right now, I'm up to, we've got Carson's that is committed, and I've got 3 others that have committed, and all of them are different in what they do and who they help. All of them are just as important within those communities of how they help people, and all of them need the same thing. They need people to know who they are, understand what they're doing, and for other people to decide how they would like to help them. There's a lot of different ways, and Diane has mentioned this over and over. It doesn't always have to be money that you give to a charity. Sometimes it can just be helping with the awareness, right? Just reminding people of who's out there and who needs help. And so I feel like that this is one of the ways that the difference can have an impact in informing the community that we want to form, the type of people that we want to have within our community. I think that's important. We all share the same core values. That's why we get along the way we do, and that's why we have the passion that we have. And as we continue to expand in our scope of shows, I think that more people are going to realize the good that we can all do together. And that's why we kind of changed our slogan. There's still one out there: be seen, be heard, and be remembered for the small businesses. We're still doing that. But basically what we're trying to do now is remind people that together we can make the difference. That's what we're going to be from here on out moving forward, is uniting people around different important causes and finding ways that we can work together to build those and help.
That's really good, because I think people are naturally prone to looking for some way to matter. We have a saying in our company that everybody wants to be somebody. Everybody wants to make an impact, right? There's this innate God-given desire to affect people in a positive way. And so just being able to have access to a lot of the nonprofits and or businesses or people or share whatever in our North Texas communities, and being able to see them for what they are in the best light possible, and knowing ways that they can give back, whether, like you said, not just monetarily. I think that's what kind of a limited thinking. Obviously they need donations, but whether it be time, exposure, volunteering, whatever that looks like, I think is very important. So really excited to see where that goes, and what the future has for the difference and all the different nonprofits that we partner with in 2023. Got about 2 minutes here before we take our only break of the hour today. Want to bring in our good friend Brian Poduska, who is another host on The Difference. He's been here really longer than me. I think almost 3 years since The Difference began. And so, Brian, good afternoon. Merry Christmas. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, you know what, Nate? I'm doing fantastic. Merry Christmas to you, and good to see some friends out there as well. Diane, good to see you. Eric, I don't think I've met you, but look forward to doing so. Lennon, as always, good to see you as well. It's thanks for bringing me on today, inviting me to the show. It's been a fun ride with The Difference. It sounds like we've got some other interesting announcements that have come out. So apologies for being late. I was jump starting my 17-year-old kid's car. So here I am. Late to the program, but we successfully got it jumped, and hopefully can figure out what's going on with it. But
thank God it's today and not Friday.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
and
really.
that's part of the challenges that we're working with. From a personal standpoint, is you guys know I'm from Chicago, and we go up there every winter. So we're doing that again this time, and we were supposed to leave on Thursday, but as you may have heard, there's a big winter storm coming in. So trying to beat that snowstorm, and we're going to be leaving tomorrow morning. And as such, everything else has gotten pushed up.
Wow.
Throw in a stalled car, and who knows what's going to happen.
Man. Well, hopefully you get out of town safely. It's probably going to be the same temperature here on Thursday that it is in Chicago, which is kind of crazy to think about. I think the high's the low's like 9 degrees, which is pretty crazy. But we're going to hit our only break here real quick. And then, Brian, when we come back, I want to ask you the same question that I asked everybody else. We were just talking about your favorite Christmas tradition. What about it you like, and just whether it was growing up or something you're currently doing. So we'll tackle that as soon as we get back. Stick around on the Community Difference.
Tired of that north of the border seasoning? Thinking there's got to be more than just salt and pepper to flavor your steak? Your brother-in-law yapping that he's the grill master? Here's your solution: Goodness Steak Seasoning. It's a blend of 9 unique herbs and spices that'll have your mouth saying, goodness. What was once just for steak night for the family is now being enjoyed by thousands of families across the USA. Grab a bottle or two today at Ham's Meat Market off the square in McKinney, Profound Foods in Fairview, and at bringthetasty.com.
Well, we love our good friend Jason Velo, who is also part of our network group. And so great story behind Goodness Steak Seasoning. I think he was going to try to join us, but he wasn't able to be on today. So go to bringthetasty.com. They make an absolutely fantastic stocking stuff, amazing seasoning. It's literally good on everything except for cereal and probably not oatmeal either, but pretty much anything else, vegetables, meats of all kinds,
Chicken and
popcorn.
dumplings.
Chicken and I mean everything. It is divine, and it's got a really cool story. He's a great guy. So if you're looking for that last minute stocking stuffer, get a bottle. Fits nicely into the stocking. You can probably actually use it for guarantee you can use it for something on your Christmas dinner table. So make sure you check that out. Bringthetasty.com. Goodness Steak Seasoning. So Brian, to you, favorite Christmas tradition, either now or growing up?
Yeah, that's an easy one. And first and foremost, that picture of that steak being grilled was really appetizing because I'm really hungry right now. So
Brian just leaves the show in the middle. It's like,
Yeah, see y'all.
Yeah, I'm out. Just got in, but I'm out now.
sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm leaving early. I'm
Right.
starving.
I'm going to grab a nice steak dinner here. But no, so that's an easy question because ever since, I don't know how long we've been doing it, but as a family, I've got 3 kids and my wife, so we've got a total of 5 in our family. And our Christmas tradition, I guess it starts right around Thanksgiving. So we will do a, Thanksgiving prior to Thanksgiving is kind of usually how it happens. But we'll do a night where we order Chinese food. We'll go grab Chinese food, and we will spend the entire day decorating prior to that. We'll have Chinese food for dinner, and then we'll watch Christmas Vacation. So that is
before Thanksgiving, on the day before Thanksgiving?
It all depends because we've now added in a little flair where we're going down to Florida every year. So it used to be the week of Thanksgiving, and now we're actually backing it up a week. So it's usually now the week heading into Thanksgiving. It's usually the Friday prior to Thanksgiving, I guess is what.
Where is your hockey jersey that you wore on our other Christmas special? I was expecting that today.
You know what? It's actually in my truck right now. Out in the parking lot.
Griswold's Family Christmas.
That's a funny mention there, Landon, because I skated with my son. They had an open skate for the holidays. So my son has a twin daughter, Annabelle. And her and I skated with the team last night. They did like an open skate and a scrimmage. So I wore that Griswold jersey out on the ice last night, and as such, it's in the backseat of my car. So it is out in the parking lot right now. I should have worn it. I didn't even think about it. I just, like I said, ran in here after getting the car jumped. So, but yeah, I still have it, and I will wear it.
I was tempted to come on dressed like Cousin Eddie, but I was afraid I might scare everybody.
If I had one of those elk mugs that I could sip eggnog out of, I'd definitely be doing that right now.
So I love that tradition because I like to be like a lot of people start decorating like the day after Christmas. I like decorating the day after Halloween. I had to talk my wife into this because I don't know, she didn't grow up necessarily like that, but and we typically growing up, we decorated the day after Thanksgiving. So that was, but I just love Christmas. I'm decorating. It seems like you put all this effort into decorating, and then it's only up for like 3 weeks. Like to me, it should be there for like 2 months. That's why I like, because, and you see these, I used to see these movies growing up where they'd be showing Thanksgiving, but they would already have their tree up. And I'm like, well, why don't we do that? That just made more sense. So I started doing that when I was single. I think I don't know if my roommates like that and all, but that's too bad because they're Scrooges or whatever. So they didn't really have a choice in it. But my wife, fortunately, loves Christmas and loves decorating, so it was nice. So I can definitely identify with that, Brian. I think that's really, really cool. And the Chinese food. which doesn't sound like it has anything to do with Christmas, but it's just part of the tradition. So, and who doesn't love a good, unhealthy MSG loaded Chinese meal?
Yeah,
I mean, that is
the beauty of that is that it has absolutely nothing to do with Christmas, but it's pretty much the one time a year that we order Chinese food. So it has that nostalgic feel to it,
At least you're standing up while you're eating it, so you burn some calories because you're decorated.
No,
No,
it's strictly just loading up. Yep.
Okay, well, it's worth a shot there. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, I want to talk about Christmas music because I'm not surprising, big Christmas music fan. We did some Christmas trivia at our Christmas party at the office, and it shocks me. Like, everybody was giving me a hard time because they're like, we don't know it. We don't know who sings these songs, and we don't know this. And I think they were right. I mean, these are people that are my age that don't know like famous Christmas. I mean, they know the song, but like, I feel like you should know some of the artists and stuff. I mean, can you tell me you don't know Sinatra's voice? I mean, I'm almost 40. I wasn't alive when Frank Sinatra was in his prime, but I just feel like staples of Christmas, you should be able to differentiate, and so we got into this big argument, and they just told me that I just basically said, well, you guys should know more stuff. And that was the end of that. But with Christmas songs, I know everybody's got this. They've got the kryptonite Christmas song that like you comes on and you just turn it off and you're like, just, dear God, please don't ever play that one again. And then you got ones that you can just listen to forever. So starting with you, Eric, and if if you have a couple in each category, that's fine. But give me your top one or two favorites, and then a couple that you just want to like murder the radio if it comes on.
Well, number one, I will echo the liking Christmas. I don't know if this is for everybody on here or not, but anytime I just walk in the house and it's decorated full of Christmas stuff, it just totally different mood. Maybe I should just have it up all year round just because I seem to be in a lot better mood when it's around.
True.
As far as songs, I do like Little Drummer Boy, depending on who sings it. Some good ones there.
Pentatonics version, you like that one?
It's all right.
Okay.
And really, Mary, Did You Know? I like that. And I'll Be Home for Christmas is a good one. Josh Groban, specifically on that.
Interesting. I don't know that I've heard his version, but I do I love that song.
And man, as far as the ones that just some of the Chipmunk stuff that comes on the radio, I'm just like,
I don't know of one Chipmunk song.
Oh, it comes on, and this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Maybe it's on, just on the XM or something, but anything from Sinatra's good. But I don't know. I enjoy it all. I don't really. There's not one that just kills me. So.
What about you, Diane?
Well, you already took my Chipmunk one because I grew up with Calvin and the Chipmunks. Man, I'll tell you what, that'll make you, if that doesn't make you laugh and put a smile on your face, there's something wrong with you. But I have to tell you another funny one that I absolutely love because I'm an Adam Sandler crazy fan.
Oh, yeah.
And back when he was on Saturday Night Live and he sang a Hanukkah song, I swear to you, I think I almost peed my pants. I probably did. I don't know. But I love Adam Sandler. I love anything or anyone that makes me laugh because I think laughter is the best medicine. Eric and I think a lot alike, hence the reason that we're good friends. Mary, did you know anything that is a religious song that centers around God and Christ? I'm all about it. But that is the most beautiful song ever. And of course, when you get into the guys, the Dean Martins, the Rat Pack, all those guys, they can belt out, man. They could belt out some Christmas music. Probably Chestnuts Roasting on the Open Fire is another one. Just reminds me of people being around each other and just gathering around there's nothing better than gathering around a fire and good conversation and some Christmas cheer. So that's probably it for me on the
There's a
music.
lot
I
of-
grew up with my dad in the church choir. He taught me the love of music, and my dad had the most beautiful, rich baritone voice ever. And my dad memorized music. So if he practiced a song, he never had to pick up that music again. He could sing it from memory.
That's
And I pretty
impressive.
much was able to do that. God gave me that gift and perfect pitch. And I'd love to belt out a song for you, but I'm battling a cold and I don't want to scare anybody.
Do you go Christmas caroling? Is that a thing that you've done growing up?
Oh yeah, yeah. I grew up in Iowa, and I don't know, Brian. I grew up in Iowa, and I never go back to Iowa in the winter. So God bless you for being
You're
so
smart.
brave.
You're smart. I'm not.
So here's the crazy thing about caroling. Our whole family can sing, but it's like pulling teeth to get them to sing at Christmas time. And I think it's because it goes back to my dad. My dad always got forced to sing by his mother, and it wasn't just Christmas. It was like because all his brothers could sing, so she'd parade them out, for family and guests, and because she's proud of them, right? But over time, you just kind of, you get tired of being the show horse or the clap monkey that goes up and performs. And I think a little bit of that, and then they've been singing for so many years at Christmas that now, like my grandmother, my mom herself said, "Hey, we're going to be singing Christmas songs," and you should have seen the thread. I'm like, what is the problem here? Like, we're all good singers. It doesn't sound bad. Like, what's the problem? And so everybody will begrudgingly do it, and then they'll remember why they enjoyed doing it. But I've never understood why are you not excited to sing Christmas songs? It's fun. But so I kind of grew up the same way, Diane. I sang in a number of church choirs and sang at church and led worship and all kinds of stuff. So definitely like that. Brian, favorite Christmas song, least favorite Christmas song, if you have one.
Yeah, those are easy ones. So traditional song, Silent Night always gets me. So, we usually do midnight mass, Christmas Eve, midnight mass. And when Silent Night comes on, it just gets all the feels going and hits me about the Christmas spirit. So that's definitely my favorite song from a traditional standpoint. I will say Christmas in Hollis, if you are a rap, rap fan, Run DMC.
Isn't that Run DMC? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Christmas in Hollis is a good one.
That is a really good song.
Now I see Diane, you're looking a little questionable there.
I'll send it to you after this, Diane. I'll send you a link to it after this.
You can open your horizons a little bit. It's a fun one. It's not dirty.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'll be waiting for that one, Brian.
All right. Fair enough. And then the one that I that makes my skin crawl that you hear constantly is the Mariah Carey.
Oh my God! Thank you very much. That's
not just what gets me on that one is so it makes my skin crawl, but it's my daughter Annabelle's favorite Christmas song. So she'll play it over and over. You'll hear it on the radio over and over, and it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. So
yeah, that's up there for me. I think I was talking to my wife about this the other day. I think that because I've heard Michael Bublé's version of that song, and I like it a lot more. And it's not that I don't like Mariah Carey; she's very talented, but I think that it's like whenever that's the starting of Christmas season is that song. Like you hear that in Hobby Lobby, and you're like, oh, here it is, and it'll be like mid-October or something, and it's just overplayed. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's that version or not, but yeah, that's. I don't know. You're not the first person. I bet you that is many people's number one song. So
yeah, I'm fairly convinced I'm probably in the majority there, just because it is so overplayed that it's rubbed people the wrong way. And yeah, like you said, nothing against Mariah Carey, great, huge musician, all that stuff, but man, that song in particular, and when she hits that high pitch, like just turn me off, right? Like, no, thank you.
Yeah. We grew up, my mom had a record player that broke down. I actually bought her another one years back. And she had a bunch of LPs, which now are, becoming, they're coming back. Like even young kids are buying LPs just for the nostalgia because they can't figure out how they work. And I can't figure out how they work either, to be honest with you. It's pretty amazing. Honestly, a CD makes more sense than a vinyl record. I don't understand that, but the sound is so good. And we grew up with Christmas records. So we'd have the Bing Crosby White Christmas album, which she still has. And that was really my first Christmas album that I knew. They're all the most recognizable. You know all the songs, but those versions of those songs have been played since, I want to say that album came out in like the 40s or 50s. I mean, it's been a long time. Back when Bing was really young, had the Andrews Sisters, who were obviously a very popular trio, I believe. They did a number of other songs back then. But y'all hear
Sorry,
something?
that was me.
Oh, I was like, what's going on?
I was trying to queue up Christmas in Hollis just for Diane.
That's what, I just sent it to her, so she has it. And so I grew up on the classics. I like the classic versions of the songs. There are some new songs that will come out every once in a while that become catchy. What's that one song? I can't think of it. But everybody will do their spin on a Christmas song. I think probably one of my favorites is Sleigh Ride, but it's the non-instrumental version. And it's got the horse in the background and the clicking, all that stuff. Yeah. It's done basically with the symphony. That's one of my favorites. And then Mary Did You Know, like you guys said, obviously Oh Holy Night, depending on the version, anything that's talking about the birth of Christ. Joy to the World, done by a huge symphony, like maybe the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, or just something very powerful that really evokes the magnitude of that song, which is pretty cool. So it all depends on, well, to your point, man, just, I'll Be Home for Christmas is great. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Silver Bell, all those atmospheric and family-oriented, feeling songs that just really put you in the spirit of Christmas and togetherness, which is very important. So wide catalog of songs I like. The songs that I don't like, as I've already mentioned, All I Want for Christmas, Mariah Carey, Santa Baby is definitely on there.
Oh, yeah.
I can tolerate the Eartha Kitt version because I happen to like her, but I think that's probably the first one I ever heard. But it's still just a very weird song, to be quite honest with you. The Hippopotamus for Christmas song, not a fan.
Nope.
That's a weird one. And oh gosh, my Kate was telling me about she's got a cousin who his name Dominique, and there's a song called Dominic the Donkey. Dominic the Italian Donkey.
Oh, I've heard it.
Yeah, that one's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, she hated it because that was her name growing up. But I heard it the other day. I was like, man, there's so many Christmas songs I know. Dominic the Italian Donkey.
Yeah, that one's great.
The Italian Christmas Donkey. Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to go back and listen to it more. But I don't know that I hate it. I'm just telling you, like, she hated it for a good reason. But there's some quirky ones out there. The Two for All I Want for Christmas is My Two Front Teeth. Like, that's just, if you're not missing teeth, that song doesn't really do a lot for you, I guess.
Grandma got ran over by a reindeer.
Now, see, those are just so weird to me.
Yeah, that's a good hockey song. The one where you're missing two front teeth.
Yeah.
That's every
I can see that.
hockey player's song.
I can see that. Lennon, what about you?
I'm like you. I like the traditional ones. Burl Ives has the Christmas song, which is chestnuts roasting on the open fire, White Christmas. Let me see.
Burl Ives did Rudolph the
he did
Rudolph
all of that.
well.
And it's the most wonderful time of the year. I like that one. And one of the reasons I think that and you just made me think of this, Nathan. One of the reasons I think I like the old traditional songs is back when those songs were written, they were so vivid and how they explained everything, that you could actually get a picture in your mind of what was going on. And if you're a Southern boy where you don't ever have a white Christmas, it was really nice to be able to listen to a song that made you feel like you were there. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure that the songs now do that as much, mainly because I think everything's attached to a video and you can actually see whatever it is they're singing about. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But,
I
going
think
back,
the imagery in songs in general is less descriptive than it used to be.
it is. And I mean, I've done a lot of studying about radio. And if you listen to the old newscast and you listen to the old sports announcers, Brad Sham did it the other day, and people don't catch on to this, but he mentioned how, all right, the Cowboys have the ball and they're moving from left to right. People didn't realize how they built that mental picture. And to me, all those old songs do that. Jingle Bells with Frank Sinatra is another that I like. The Mariah Carey, I think she gets started playing in October, and it's just every 5 minutes it's Mariah Carey, and that's just it's worn out.
Poor
Another
Mariah
one
Carey.
I don't like is Last Christmas by Wham. I hate that song.
Yes.
But you know what? I was mentioning to my wife the other day, when I grew up, just about every artist back in the day had a gospel album and a Christmas album.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, if you go back, they all did that. And that's not something that a lot of people do. I mean, I guess it's hard to go from some of the lyrics of today into a gospel album. That would be just really a big stretch to get back to that with some of the lyrics we have. But that's really for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't look for Lil Nas to put out a gospel album anytime soon.
probably not.
That's probably not going to happen.
DMX did, though. Well, not a gospel album, but he did have kind of a
Although if Kanye can put out a gospel album, I guess anybody can. So
maybe so.
What was that? Was that 2 years ago? Something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, as we wrap up here, let's go through. I want to give everybody a quick second just to talk about themselves and their business, and then finish with your absolute favorite Christmas movie, because that's always a fun topic.
Nathan, while we're doing that, I want to show real quick. My wife and I went around the other day looking at Christmas lights the other night, and it's really amazing what people are doing in their yards now. They've got these all set up, and you tune in, and we saw some really cool ones. I'm going to play one. Just the lights is
Oh yeah,
show
about
that. So y'all go ahead.
Where is this?
This is in Plano.
Is that Deerfield?
No, I'm not sure where this one is. I went by this one the other night. I can't remember because we went by about 15.
Oh wait,
different
I think I drove by this one too. I think this is over here. They're like Park and Alma.
Yeah, I think it's in that area because that's where we were. We started.
Yeah.
There's a really cool one here in Wiley. That is Park and Alma, because my wife was talking about the trees, how she loved those so much.
Yes,
but,
it's awesome.
Yeah, really cool.
It's awesome. Well, Diane, give us a quick 30 seconds about yourself, your business, and then your favorite Christmas movie to wrap us up here.
Wow, that's fast. Okay, so my business, Castle to Castle. So my business, Castle to Castle, I'm totally focusing on nonprofits this year. So I represent a health and wellness company, and so what I'm looking for this year are speaking engagements at your company in front of your employees to show them how easy it is to pay it forward and make a difference in people's lives. So I'm looking for people to open their hearts to do that this year, and show them how easy it is to support a charity that they're passionate about. I'm looking for charities. My passion or anything about kids and anything about veterans. But I'm opening it up to any charity. So if you have a charity that you're passionate about, please reach out to me so that I can help them draw awareness. That's what I do, draw awareness to their charity, because it really is all about taking the attention off of yourself And I know that Christmas is a tough time for a lot of people that have lost people around the holidays. So every year it comes back around and it seems like a broken record and they're very sad. The way to get away from your sadness is to look at Christ and look at what he did for you and look at the opportunity that you have to serve other people and take the attention off of yourself. My favorite Christmas movie is Miracle on 34th Street, because I believe we have to believe in the magic.
That's awesome. I love. Is that the one with William Frawley, the old one, or the one with Sir Richard Attenborough, the newer one?
Oh no, the black and white.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian, what about you?
Yeah, so real quick, my business is Real Property Management Focus, where we focus on your real estate investments. We are a full service real estate brokerage. Our key clientele are those who have real estate investment properties, and we, basically manage those properties on your behalf. We can help buy them, sell them, analyze if you want to buy, do 1031 exchanges, that sort of thing. So that is our business. Also, part of the larger difference, I think you mentioned it earlier, Lennon, I've been with The Difference for, ever since the beginning, basically. And our show is up here in the corner, Sports Talk. We've got #Real Talk Sports Edition that we talk sports. And then we have a business edition that we do as well. So we may be mixing those in next year, as well as getting a Frisco community difference off the ground. So a lot of things to look forward to next year, as far as the radio and podcast situation goes. Without a doubt, I have two favorite movies. I mentioned it earlier. Christmas Vacation is my fun movie that I enjoy. And then the one that hits me right here in the heart every year, I have to watch it. It's A Wonderful Life.
Oh yeah.
And that one always brings me back to center. And that one, it gets my feelings going again when it comes to the Christmas season. So that one's my favorite serious movie.
That's awesome. Eric?
Yeah, thank you. So business is Audible Financial Group, and this last year was huge for us in that we made some transitions to set up ourselves to really help. We changed our platform a little bit, but we're going to focus a lot more this year on the planning aspect of it and how we can help individuals, communities, businesses. If we can go in and show some financial well-being and start to help people get plans in place just to start saving, start doing whatever they need to do. I think that's how we can really help going forward. And so this last year at the end of the year was really getting this whole platform set up and all that. But now that it's there, I'm really looking forward to this next year, really getting to grow and work with different people. So, and then I would say movies, obviously Christmas Vacation is right there. But one that my daughter and I kind of watch more and more. My wife's not a big fan of it, but I'm starting to kind of pull in for Polar Express a little bit. I do like that one, the whole Believe and all that. So that's been a good one.
That's a good call.
That's awesome. For me, I got to go with, I love It's a Wonderful Life. I think a classic. I haven't watched it yet. It's on my list for this year, but I actually watched, it's kind of silly. And I put something on Facebook about this. And some people give me a hard time, but I watched that new half comedy. It's more of a comedy, but a comedy musical, Spirited, on Apple TV. It's with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell, and it's another take on. It's a really unique take on a Christmas Carol, and I thought it was really good. It was really funny. The musical nature of it is almost superfluous intentionally, so it kind of makes fun of itself. So if you haven't seen it, I think I think it could turn into an Elf kind of thing, a quasi classic. But yeah, you got to go back to the true classics. It's a Wonderful Life. I won't put Die Hard in there, but I do like Die Hard.
It's a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
So they say. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for being on the show with us. Thank you for a great year of hosting and being guests and just being friends with us and The Difference. And May God bless you. May you have a Merry Christmas and a wonderfully Happy New Year. Can't wait to see where our paths cross in 2023 and all the wonderful things that we get to do to make the difference in our communities. Merry Christmas. Have a great
Merry
holiday.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Everybody.
God bless you.
Thank you for tuning into The Community Difference. If you enjoyed the show, take something you learned and apply it in your community or your business in order to make the difference for someone else. Remember, the smallest change begins with a single action, but a single action can make all the difference. A special thank you to today's amazing guests. Also, if you'd like to be on the show to share your unique story and how it made the difference in your community, please contact Lendon Wilson at lendonw@thedifferenceradio.com. Until next time, this has been The Community Difference, hosted by Nathan Smith.